Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. WAMUCHOMBA is one member of parliament who is regarded as an iron lady. In fact, these days, if you are to refer to any member of parliament, a woman member of parliament, as iron lady, WAMUCHOMBA fits that bill. Now, talking about WAMUCHOMBA, ladies and gentlemen, we all saw what happened regarding the arrest that was planned, but one that never materialized. Now, WAMUCHOMBA was blamed to be fueling tension in Githunguri prior to William Ruto's visit. So that was the accusation. So that's the reason why WAMUCHOMBA took to her X-handle and shared a statement here, which I want us to go through. For those of you who didn't get time to go through the tweet, this is what she said. The CCIO Kiambu has through a telephone called and summoned me because the great people of Githunguri refused to be lured to fake promises and projects that never materialized. Arrest you can do, but will not change the facts. Normalize. You promised, deliver. I think for those of you who've been following the politics of WAMUCHOMBA, you will agree with me that WAMUCHOMBA, ever since UDA took over, she has been against the policies of UDA. In fact, of all the members of parliament who are fighting William Ruto, I think she is the only person who has been steadfast in quest for the promises which were made during the campaigns to be delivered. Leave alone the other members of parliament, those other leaders in Mount Kenya whom you think or you see trying to fight for the people. WAMUCHOMBA has been very, very, instrumental in pushing for the agenda of the mountain people. So in this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to explore these arrests, which was planned by the CCIO. But before you do that, kindly like this video, subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much for all of you who have been supporting us. I managed to go through a video of the roadside rally in Githunguri, where, of course, there were so many people there. But there was the governor of Kiambu County, Omatangi, and there was William Ruto and other leaders. Now, I listened to the governor quite carefully, listening to the points, how he tried to justify so many things. In fact, I can say that WAMUCHOMBA's plan worked because it forced Omatangi to speak, to say so much, just to convince the people to, to side with William Ruto. In fact, there is great fear from the governor that WAMUCHOMBA's area might vote the other side, which is not William Ruto's side. And because of that reality, ladies and gentlemen, the fear in Kiambu County was exhibited by the statements which the governor made there. And I want you to pay attention to these statements from the governor. Just watch this video.
Sisi tumesema na governor ndiye alianzilisha kutoka mwaka wa 2025 mpaka 2027 hatuna mambo ya siasa, tunataka mambo ya maendeleo. Kanatoa igirate. Na tulisema yule mtu anataka siasa apeleke nyumbani kwao. Kanatuko toigire. Tumesema hapa hii Kiambu tunataka maendeleo peke yake. Netwanjita nado itu. Sasa hapa rais, hiyo soko yenye umejenga iko na wamama zaidi ya wamama 1600. Wamama wenye wamepata nafasi sasa watakuwa wamama 800. Wale wengine 800 bado wanagojea. Ile tutakuomba ni kwamba hiyo soko phase 2 tuikimbize. Ya pili, Your Excellency, hii Githunguri yetu, hata kama tumepata yu contractor amekuja amefikisha barabara hapa, tutakuomba Ukiingia kwa hii Githunguri ndani, kwa hii mitaa yote, ukipita ni matope katikati ya hii maduka. Huyu contractor mwambie, kwa vile ni wa national government, atuwekee lami huku ndani ya hii town yetu ya Githunguri. Ama namna gani jamani? Akituwekea lami ndani ya hii Githunguri yetu, sisi tutakuwa tuko sawa sawa.
Unajua, ukitaka kuona kama mtu ana wasiwasi, si kama wewe ni mtu umefanya kazi, unafanya kazi, si lazima ongee mambo mengi to convince the people kwamba anafanya kazi. Ikiwa wewe ni mtu ambaye unafanya kazi, unaongea kidogo, matendo yako ndio mengi. So listening to Wamatangi kwanza vizuri, nimemsikiza Wamatangi na nadhani umemsikiza. Wamatangi ni kama ako under pressure because Kiambu, by the way, if you look at the history of Kiambu, kumekuwa na 3 terms. The first term was 2013 to 2017. 2017 to 2022. Now we are on the third term of 2022 to 2023, 2027. Now in Kiambu, they have had 3 governors. Kabogo was the first governor. Then, because he could not secure a re-election, Waititu won that seat. But Waititu was impeached. So that makes it, in fact, 4 governors. Waititu was impeached and I think replaced by his deputy. But in 2022, Wamatangi took over. So Wamatangi knows Kiambu vizuri. They don't joke. They have set a bar ambao kama utafika basi wewe ufai. So looking at Wamatangi venye alikuwa anaongea pale, and the people there, you could see from that crowd, ni kama this crowd had been coached. Was it a coached crowd? Because they were clapping to literally each and everything. And Wamatangi alikuwa anaongea sana. So this explains why Gathoni WAMUCHOMBA's pressure, especially in Githunguri, must have been felt by the governor. And that's probably the reason why the CCIO was seeking to arrest her, because they realized that if Gathoni WAMUCHOMBA continues with this campaign, continuing there, it's going to dent the image of the president. You see, the truth at the debate that is currently, going out there everywhere is that we can't really tell whether the crowd that received William Ruto is a crowd for him. I mean, when I say for him, I mean is a crowd that is going to vote for him. That cannot be said right now. But what we know is that the people in Mount Kenya will welcome William Ruto na roho moja. But will that translate to votes? Because what we know is that if Gachagua decides to also hold a rally in the same place, we will see the same crowd again. So the big question is this crowd for real? I mean, it's a crowd for hire. You see, there's a time Anne Waiguru, the governor of Kirinyaga County, told us, in fact, she shocked the nation when she said, you can only rent a Kikuyu. You see, rent ikiisha, si wewe unaishi kwa nyumba, ulikuwa unalipa rent imeisha, what tax? Si utatolewa. So it means what the governor was saying back then, ni kama Kikuyus can only be rented. Rent ikiisha unaenda. So even in this scenario, what that can be used to mean is that the people who are seen in Githunguri ni watu ambao wamekuwa rented. Lakini ile rent ikiisha watatoka waende kwingine. So is that the reason why they are not with Rigathi Gachagua? Or is that reason enough to say that the people in Githunguri are not with Rigathi Gachagua? Because one thing we know, Gachagua did the wisest thing of trying to stay away from the politics in Mount Kenya kwanza, kumwalau William Ruto amalize mkutano wake, na amemaliza jana. Amemaliza. So the next thing that is going to happen, I know, Rigathi will embark on another series of campaign because of May, and May is fast approaching, and May is the month that Rigathi Gachagua promised that is going to unveil his party. So what Gathoni WAMUCHOMBA was doing in Githunguri is to try to hold the support from his base from going to William Ruto. So she did that. She campaigned the chant of must go. She did that. But you see, the chant of must go is very illegal. You are seen or heard using it, wewe unashikwa unaingizwa ndani. So what this means, ladies and gentlemen, is that Githunguri WAMUCHOMBA could not be allowed to continue with that campaign by the CCIO. That's why there was a directive to have a report the headquarters, police headquarters, the DCI headquarters, so that aeleze ni nini ambayo inamfanya campaign against William Ruto in Githunguri, a move ambayo ingeleta fujo kule Githunguri, lakini at least there was no commotion, there was no mayhem. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to raise my case there, but just go below in the comment section and tell us what do you think about this, or this sermon, or the Githunguri WAMUCHOMBA sermon. Now, perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.